Hi friends, welcome. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping in. My name is Lorinda and I'm so grateful to have you here. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button so I have you as a subby friend. And if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. So today we are going to make this cute little bracelet and we're going to make it with a slide enclosure. So I got the inspiration from this from a little bracelet that I saw for sale on Instagram. So an ad popped up and it was a little bracelet like this and I thought it was super cute and I thought, oh, I want to make that. So here is my inspiration picture. And then here is my finished project. And this turned out so cute. You know, you can do this in so many different ways, but I just think it's adorable. Just a fun little bracelet. So stay tuned and we'll make it. All right, so the tools that we're going to need is just a needle, embroidery needle. And then we need a connector charm. So this connector charm, I made it because I wanted to do a bracelet of the inspiration that I saw and I needed something. So I made this and I use UV resin because I have it. You can also use super glue, but I just took these jewelry rings, a big one, and then I took two smaller ones and I put them together. The little holes I put up near the top so that you wouldn't be able to see them. And then on the little rings, I put them near the base of it. And I just put them together like this and I glued them. And then I made a little bow out of string. You know, you might have a little plastic bow. You could make a resin bow, like all different things you could do. You could do little flowers, doesn't have to be a bow, but you know, for the inspiration that I had, I wanted a little bow, so I just made it out of my string. But you can do other connector rings, like I have these I'm going to make bracelets out of. I have a bunch of different connector rings, so anything that has a hole in the center can be used as a connector ring. All right, so I'm going to put these off to the side. And then we need our cord. Now this is a wax cord. It just happens to be what I have. You don't have to use that. You can use any kind of a nylon cord. And then some little beads are completely optional, but you do need a pair of scissors. And then you'll need something to just sort of hold your bracelet down. I have a clip, I have some tape, you know, I have different options. So I'm going to decide, you know, which color. I did my bow in this lighter pink, so I could do the lighter pink, or do I want, you know, maybe the brighter pink for, you know, the arm, but I'm going to do, I think, the same color pink. So I'm just going to pull off some cord. I don't want to waste my cord, but I do want it to be, you know, bigger than what I need. That just makes it easier. All right, so I'm going to cut off a piece of cord, and I am going to need another piece of cord here in just a moment, but I'll cut it off after. So I'm just going to put my pieces together here evenly, fold it over, and I'm going to cut this in half. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Fold it in half. Now I'm going to take my loop and put it through my connector charm and then put my two ends through my loop. Then I'm going to do the same thing. put my loop through my connector charm, open it up, put my 2 ends through my loop, and then pull it tight. All right, so now I have my bracelet. So now I just want to make it so that I can slide it on and off my hand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my connector charm and I'm just going to lay it flat down on my surface. So you could use a piece of tape to hold it in place, or I have this little clip I'm going to use to hold it in place. Whatever you want to do, and then you want to take your ends and make them into a circle. And then you can, right here, you can either put a piece of tape or, whatever. I like to just take these and make a super, like, just light little knot. And this isn't, they're not going to stay here. This is just to hold them in place. So I'm just going to tie a little knot right here, something loose that I can just untie afterwards. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. All right, so I have this, it's like a little circle here. Now I need another piece of cord, so I could use the same color, or I could go with, something different and bright if I want to. And I'm just gonna take a piece and cut it off. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold my bracelet up, and this piece here, I'm gonna put, I have these 4 pieces, I'm gonna put this over top. Okay, so it's laying over the top. Now, you can start with either your right or your left, whichever you want, but you're gonna go opposite, right, left, right, back and forth, okay? So I'm gonna start with my left. That's just sort of what I do. And I'm gonna take this end, it's gonna go under the 4 and then over this right hand side. Okay, let me lay it down, it might be easier to show you. Here, I'm gonna do the whole thing laying down, make it easier. All right, so here are my 4 pieces. Here's my string. I'm gonna go lay it over top. Now I'm gonna take this end and I'm gonna go under my 4 pieces and I'm gonna cross it over my tail here. And then this is gonna go up and it's gonna go over my loop. And then I'm gonna pull it. And I'm just making a square knot. All right, so I started with my left, so now I'm gonna do the same thing with my right. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna go under the 4, over this tail, and then this tail is going to go through the loop. Okay, and you can see I've got a square there. All right, so now I'm gonna go back to my left and I'm gonna go under and I'm gonna go over my tail. Then my tail is gonna come up and through the loop. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to this side. I'm gonna go under the 4, but over my tail, then my tail comes up and it goes through the loop. Now you do this as many times that you want. I like to do about 5, sometimes 6. All right, so now I'm back to this side. So I'm gonna go under, I'm gonna cross over my tail, then I'm gonna take my tail and I'm gonna go through my loop and pull. Again, I'm gonna go under, I'm gonna cross over my tail, and then I'm gonna go through my loop and pull. Now you really want to pull this a little bit more taut, but I wanted you to be able to see the square knots there, so I didn't pull it as you know, tight as I normally would, but you do want to pull it tight. All right, so now you can finish this a couple ways. So you could either tie a knot in it and then cut off your ends and take your little lighter to them. Or some people like to put nail polish on it. For me, I like to use a needle, and I will just put my little thread on my needle. And then I take my needle and I go under my loop and then bring it through. Then I'm going to do the same with this one. And take my needle and go under my loop and bring it through. Now that's how I like to finish them, but again, completely up to you. Then I'm gonna cut off my ends. Some people like to do nail polish so that they don't fray. I like to just burn my ends, but don't burn your, make sure you don't burn yourself or any more of your rope than what you need to. All right, so now I have my little slip enclosure. So I'm gonna untie my knots here. Do you hear my dogs barking? So I'm in the house. I'm in the garage. They're in the house, and they're so loud. They got a new bark box, and it's so cute. This month's bark box is dinosaurs, and it's so cute. All right, so I want to make sure that I have enough room there so that I can get it over my hand, you know, to enclose it, right? So I'm going to have some dangle downs, but I want to get rid of as much of it as I can, but I need to make sure I can get it over my hand. So I need it to be at least that big, right? Now, this is up to you. I like to finish these off like with a little bead. I just think it's nice, but you don't have to. You can just, you know, make yourself a little knot and then cut it off from there. But I'm going to make myself a little bead and put my knot up to about there. And then I'll cut my piece off. I'm going to do that with each side. Now you can measure these and make sure that your knot's exactly perfect. I don't, because I think that's sort of fun, like when they're just a little bit different than each other. These scissors, they used to be so nice and sharp, but I've used them for things that I'm not supposed to, so they're not super sharp anymore. And we'll do this side here. And I'm going to take my little lighter and just do the ends of my knots. Help keep them secure. Again, be very careful if you do this. Don't burn yourself or your bracelet or anything else. All right, and now my bracelet is done. And I can put it on. And I have my little enclosure. And I can just hold on to it and boop, pull it closed. Make it as tight or as loose as I want. And there we go. Now I could have made these a little shorter if I want, but I'm good with them kind of long. So that part is completely up to you, but super cute. Anyways, I hope that you liked it and I hope it was helpful. And these bracelets are just so adorable, so fun. You can make so many different ones. And I have a couple different ways that I like to make them. So we'll probably make a couple. And yeah, and then there's my little enclosure. All right, I hope you guys have a blessed and beautiful day, friends. And I'll see you later. Bye.